If you prefer to watch soccer and wager on soccer, football in those countries other than the United States, you'll want to perhaps get a copy of the MLS soccer algorithm. This is the only one that I saw any promise with last year. I worked with, I shouldn't say that's the only league, but it was the best league that I ran the soccer algorithm for last year. First time I did it. So this one I'm comfortable selling. It has done some good things. It had some decent results in the first week that we tried it last week. I'm going to show you the process of how you update it. It's not awful, but it is a little frustrating when it comes to player team names and starting lineups, and we'll get into that. So here's what you do. You got your subscription to RotoWire. You go to sports betting, soccer, brings you to this list. You want to go MLS, and RotoWire usually brings you to the first day they have odds. Perfect. When you click on the team, it's going to bring you to the first day that there are odds. These are the 15th. That's when all these games are. So we're going to export this. I know you can't see this, the CSV or Excel file that opens up, but you're just going to grab it and you're going to copy it. You're going to copy the entire set of information like you normally do. You copy the odds. And then here's where you go. You go into the cube sheet and it's going to go right here. So the next set of games. So you're adding a chunk of games to the cube sheet. Now, what you want to do is you want to copy these formulas down here. I do them in twos. You want to bring in basically everything for all the formulas you need. You want to get rid of the final scores. And then you want to freeze the lineup count from the previous set of games, and also freeze the projected score from the previous game. So that way you have some integrity in your history of your games, in case we're looking at it in the future. So now you've frozen everything and you've set up all your new records for your new games on the 15th. All right. What do you do next? Now you go to fantasy sports, soccer, MLS is here, and you want a few things. You want injury report. So you're going to grab that. You want lineups will do at the end. You want player stats, and you want to highlight all of these so that all they're checked. So sometimes you get it like this. When you originally sign up, is it comes like this or something, where some of them aren't clicked. You want to do everything like that. Really all of them. This should work too. Just as long as you check all of them, it's going to give you all the player stats. And then you're going to export the Excel file there. Then you go to team stats. And you're going to do the same thing. They're all checked. Should be fine. Do team stats. All right. So we got three things we do. So now I'm opening all of those up. You can't see them, but they're just a raw export. I'm going to show you where you paste them. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do the team stats. A lot of these teams have like 6 or 7 games so far. Copying the team stats, and you put them in the team stats page right here. First available team in column G. And you'll see it'll fill in the correct size because the number of teams does not change in MLS from week to week. They have the number of teams for the season, and that stays the same. So that goes right here, right? So team stats is done. Next one we're going to do is we're going to do player stats. All right, I'm copying the player stats on the screen you cannot see. And going in here, going to player stats and pasting them right here in cell F5. And then we're going to check at the bottom to make sure that our formulas on the left are going down far enough, and they are. Okay, so that's fine. So now we have our player names. Sometimes you'll have an error and you know right away that you need to add a player name. And we're going to sort those streamlined player names and look at the bottom and see if anybody has an error in here. There are error players. So we're going to grab these error players and we're going to bring them into our matrix because we need to start updating names. So we're going to start right here and add these names that are coming in here. there's a name, and a team, and then an abbreviated name. So it needs to look like this. Name, team, and then abbreviated name. And we only have one of them that it found automatically. Other ones we may need to add. All right, and I'll get into that process in a second. So we've added our player stats. Next thing we need to do is update the injury report. I'm grabbing the injury report from a screen you can't see, and we're going into the injuries tab, and we are pasting it right here. And I like to check at the bottom to make sure that the injury report, yeah, it shrunk. So these people are from the old injury report. So you got to get rid of them. Okay, so our injuries are done, our player stats are done, our team stats are done. Now we have to do lineups, which are going to go right here in column I. The lineup sheet, we're already in MLS, we want lineups. Usually it will be set on the future week and they'll give you expected lineups. It looks like they have. Perfect. So all these games apparently take place on Saturdays, it looks like. So we get the entire week's lineups in one shot. Once we paste the lineups, we now refresh this pivot table. Voila. And now everything changes and we're looking good. We've got lineups in here. We've got kind of everything set up. So normally you'd be done if there wasn't problems with people's names. And I'm going to get into that in a second. I'm going to show you how we know how many people we're missing and how to fix that. Because this is the only annoying part of the file. Because basically you've done everything you need to do. You can look at your cube. Your cube is going to show you all the games you're predicting and how many rostered players we're accounting for on this team. So we have a full 11 on Vancouver. We only have 10 of Colorado. So for some reason, we're missing somebody. We only have 10 here. We only have 8 on the Philadelphia Union. So we definitely got to fix that. We only have 9 on the Portland Timbers. Now, there are reasons why this might happen. But before we update the names, we can actually do a simulation to look at the games for the 15th, which are going to be right here. These are the games. It's giving you projected scores already. It doesn't give you a win percentage, but it gives you a projected score. And, it says like Seattle really beats Portland. San Jose beats Kansas City. Vancouver beats Austin. Atlanta beats Toronto, but starts to get closer. You can see. So the biggest game of all is this Seattle over Portland, followed closely by San Jose over Sporting Kansas City. So that's kind of what it's doing. But we don't have the lineups fully correct. So the way we know this is when we look at our daily lineup sheet in this pivot table we've created, we have a check of all the names. So what you've got is you've got a game number, you've got home and away, you've got the team name, the position of the player, and the player's name. And then trim name is supposed to be the correct abbreviated name because sometimes they have the word questionable or suspended or something. So it wants to abbreviate the name to the proper name that you need, which is this trim name. And it checks to see if we have a trim name and a streamline name for all these players. And if you do, it shows up without an error here. So there's a problem with O. Alonso. So who's O. Alonso? We're going to take his abbreviated name and we're going to add it to this list. Let's call it right here. Now it'll show up in pink if we have it in duplicate. We already have it in duplicate. So let's find it where we have it. Control F. It's right here. So this person plays for Atlanta. Now what you have to do is you kind of have to search the name on RotoWire to start doing some research about what's going on with this player. Alonso, we want an Alonso that's on Philadelphia that begins with an O. Osvaldo. All right, so now we have his name, copy his name, and we bring it in to the sheet, and now we're going to be correct. And now his name is going to work, and we're going to verify that by looking at the daily lineup sheet and seeing that now his name shows up here, and it's not a blank. So he's a game time decision, which is why he's not being included, because it's questionable. That's what the injury report says. But we have his name in here now. So we have to go through all these teams and fix all the names. This is another one, right? This person's in here. You can tell it's blank. So they're actually in the matrix. So we're just going to find their abbreviated name in the matrix. It's right here. And then we're going to search this person on RotoWire Christian, Danielle. Yep. This is, and see how their name is kind of slightly different than sometimes the hyphenated or the triple name or whatever it is. It's sometimes different. So you have to use that name that you get when you click on the RotoWire name, because this is their streamlined actual full name. So we fix that person and you look at the daily lineups and there you go, their game time decision, but now they're showing. So really, Nick Dupuis, same problem. This guy's going to be in here. He's right here, and that's probably his full name. I'm going to use it as his full name without the space at the beginning. It's probably the problem. Yep, I think that's it. So we're going to put that here. And I think that's going to fix him. And it does. He's out. Yeah, everything's fine. So you go through all these and you update all the names. And you see there's like 2 people at least on here. And then Philadelphia Union's got like 3, right? And there's these 3 guys here. So as we fix those, it will update the number of people that are being recorded in the cube for the team, but it doesn't include game time decision or questionable players. That's why it doesn't sometimes add up to 11, and that's kind of okay. There's not really much you can do about it. You kind of want to move the person out if they have a somewhat of an injury anyway. I think that's worked better. So that's how you do this. And then you just refresh this. That's it. So the player updating, takes a little while each week, but once you get it done, it's going to fix itself for the rest of the season, unless there are trades and stuff like that. And you can always just go down the list to see who's missing and why and add them, which I think I will do before Friday, before this thing, is good to go. And then there's obviously going to be confirmed lineups at some point before the games on Saturday that you can try to bring them in here and update this really close to the game time. And that will probably provide some intelligence, especially if you get people that are questionable end up being out or playing. It's going to include them and it's going to give them a more accurate view of the games. So the other area I want to talk about in here are the percentages that we use on each amount. Like I put 20% on goals, 25% on assists. I know that I weight something here. It's like shots inside the box. Yeah, shots on goal inside box, goals inside box. These are really good stats for determining games. And so I used those, and that was what I tested last year. So that works pretty darn well. It worked well in the first week, and we'll see if that continues to work. You have those stats for not only the team stats, but also the player stats also has the same distribution because it's the same set of, all these different stat categories. So that's soccer, guys. That's MLS. If you want a copy, it's $75. You can go kenbraverman.com, follow the links in the description, purchase a copy, and get a subscription to RotoWire and start updating this thing yourself and messing around with percentages to see if you can do better. I could build a macro or something for this to test a bunch, but I'd have to see some serious sales on this product first, because I just wanted to get it going, get it out there for those that asked me about it and wanted to know how it works. All right. So good luck, everybody. May all your goals be scoring and picks be winning.